Yeah. How are you guys doing today? My name is Pietro, and for today's video, I'm going to play Boggles, and I'm going to play what I consider to be a pretty stock version of the deck. The reason that I wanted to play this is because I've never tried it before, and I've been on sort of like a journey lately of trying decks that are new for me. I mean, of course, I've played against them, I understand how they work on a basic level, but I've just never played with them. And now that I have an excuse of doing this YouTube channel, I really wanted to see what these decks are all about. So I've been having a lot of fun playing some of the decks, not so much fun playing some of the other ones, but I'm going to try Bogos today. I'm in the mood for a bit of like a quicker league, let's say, so I'm going to hope that that's what we get out of this. Ethereal Armor was a big introduction to the deck, and more recently we had like Malevolent Rumble, which gives the deck a lot of card selection and potential of like even getting an Eldrazi spawn that you can even pump up to serve as a beater and whatnot. But I know that the biggest changes ended up coming from the sideboard itself. So today we're going to try this. We're going to see how we do against the meta game. I'm usually the one getting beaten by Bogles, not the one playing the Bogles itself. I don't think there's anything too worthwhile mentioning here, but if you are not familiar with how the deck works, it is basically a deck filled with hexproof creatures. So we have 4 Slippery Bogle, we have 4 Gladecover Scout, which are 1 mana 1/1s, and then this version is playing 2 Silhana Ledgewalker, which is a 2 mana 1/1 hexproof that can only be blocked by creatures with flying. Now, keep in mind, this does mean that Chrysalis doesn't block Ledgewalker. So that's something for us to remember. And this version is also playing 2 Aura Gnarlids, which is a 3 mana 2/2 that gets +1/+1 for each enchantment you control, and it gets it's like it can't be blocked by creatures with power less than. So if you pump this up, your opponent cannot block it. So this list is kind of doing the split, 2 Silhana and 2 Gnarlids. I think that this is mostly so your opponent can be like a little bit on the fence when it comes to games 2 and 3, where do they want to sideboard all of their removal? Do they not want to? Because if they have no removal, Aura Gnarlid is very good. If they keep removal, well, maybe you're going to be playing off the back of the Ledgewalkers and the Scouts, and you can like kind of ignore the Aura Gnarlid or even maybe side it out, depending on how the game is going. The good matchups for this deck are mostly going to be the red decks. We play 4 Armadillo Cloak in the main, and this is the type of card that if you stick and you start beating, there's no way your opponent ever recovers. When it comes to the sideboard, we're playing 3 Fairy Macabre for the graveyards, 3 Red Blasts for the blue decks, 3 Standard Bearers for the mirror, for elves, and for High Tide. Even though I think High Tide is just a pretty bad matchup overall, I think they're just going to be faster than us a lot of the time. And then we have 1 Ram Through for like when you want a little bit of removal, maybe like against Madness Red, for example. Flaring Pain for Fog and Prismatic Strands. And then you have 1 Lifelink for the red decks. Uh, Also, this stacks with Armadillo Cloak. Armadillo Cloak is not life. It's not lifelink. It's a trigger. And Mask of Law and Grace again for the red and the black decks. I would imagine Mask of Law and Grace comes in against like Krark-Clan Shaman decks. Uh, Maybe like against decks that have refurbished Familiar. I don't really know. But Pro Red overall is pretty good. So let's get into the league and let's see how we do. Before we start, please remember to like, subscribe, leave a comment, all the things. I have reached 100 subscribers recently on YouTube, and I'm very happy about that. So thank you very much to everyone who has subscribed. And if you still haven't, do it, please. Help me out. It makes me very happy and makes me want to continue doing these things. All right, let's go. All right, welcome to round number 1. We are on the draw against Ninjajar. This is a hand that honestly, I think I'm happy keeping. We got a turn 1 guy into probably like Psycho Ash Barrens for a white land, play Hyena Umbra, and then moving on, we can just play Rumble to find more enchantments. Ooh, that's interesting, huh? Do I want to start off with that, maybe? Yeah, I guess I do. So I'm gonna play Utopia Sprawl here, and I'm gonna put it on white. The fact that our opponents start with Mortuary Mire leads me to believe they're playing Familiars, because I think Familiars is the only deck in the metagame currently. Oh, it is Familiars, yeah. Yeah. So they just foiled us. All right. So again, foil, discarded island, got Pharaoh's Faithful, and that is a little annoying. Like getting the Utopia Sprawl foiled is pretty bad. But again, if I had started with Glade Cover Scout, I think it would have been even worse, because then they would have foiled our Glade Cover Scout, and that would have been pretty bad. Okay, so what do I want to do now? I could just play the Ash Barrens and then play the Glade Cover Scout, or play the Ash Barrens, play a Rumble, but unfortunately I cannot, if I cycle the Ash Barrens, I don't have another play. So honestly, I think I'm just gonna play it, and then I think I'm going to Rumble. Ancestral Mask, Ethereal Armor, Rancor. So I didn't find white mana, which is pretty bad. And I don't have the third mana, so I think I'm just gonna get the Rancor here. And I'm gonna pass the turn. I know that this matchup is really good for us. I know Familiars doesn't have an easy time dealing with Boggles. So I think I'm interested. Okay, there's another Faithful. Do you have a play? No. So do I just want to start laying down creatures? And I don't believe so. I do think I want to Rumble here again. We found a forest, but we didn't find white mana still. So now I have a choice. Do I want to get Abundant Growth, or do I just want to get the forest? Because I have 4 cards in hand that are white. But the problem is that if I get the Abundant Growth or the Utopia Sprawl, then I do not have a play this turn. So I think I'm going to get the Abundant Growth, even though I know it's pretty bad right now. Like, I want to I want to put a creature with hexproof in play as soon as possible. But our opponent is kind of operating on low resources because they foiled us early on. I'm gonna hope that this doesn't get tagged by a prohibit or a foil, because if it does, it's really bad for us. Okay, it worked. No land, but that should be fine. And I think I'll just play the Glade Cover Scout here, and it resolves. Good. So now we are sort of alright mana-wise. Murmuring Mystic can be very annoying. Mortuary Mire again. Okay, Forest is excellent. So how do I want to do this? I guess I am going to go Rancor, White, Hyena Umbra. And that's a 4/2. Attacking doesn't do anything yet, so I guess I go Aura Gnarlid. And I know the Aura Gnarlid can get tagged by Snap, but hopefully I'll just be able to overload some enchantments on the Scout, and we're gonna punch through our opponent's defenses. The Aura Gnarlid is just a pretty good beater by itself. It's like a 5/5 with evasion, and that's not too bad. Like, the creatures over there are not going to be able to block. Familiars doesn't have anything that has power, basically. So I think my worry here is that they go snapping us, and that would be pretty bad. Meeting of Minds is fine. They're probably looking for a snap, and I imagine they're going to find one eventually. Cycles Lorien, and there's the snap on the Gnarlid. Okay. So opponent gets to keep going here if they have more plays. There's a Sunscape, 2 cards in hand. Okay, and a passing of the turn. So now, unfortunately, I'm still a little pinched on white mana, but I do think I'm just gonna go Ethereal Armor. That resolves, and that allows me to just get in. So we have an 8/6 First Strike, Trample, Hexproof, and I'm just gonna play the Aura Gnarlid again. I'll just use my mana most efficiently every turn that I can. And I think the reason that I'll keep playing the Aura Gnarlid here, opponent is, are you getting back what, Meeting of Minds likely? Yep. And I'll keep playing the Aura Gnarlid because if they have to use the snap on this creature instead of on their own, I think I'm fine with that. I'm not too concerned about the birds clocking me right now because I have Armadillo Cloak, so eventually I'll just be able to gain more life than they will. And I believe they're not. So if they're playing the foil version, they might also be playing like the modern age deep analysis version. So I don't think they have anything in the main deck that can get us here. Okay, Ephemerate the Archaeomancer is pretty bad. Are you getting back the foil? No, preordain. Okay. So it seems like they're digging for something. I would love to find an Ancestral Mask here. They snap my Aura Gnarlid again. That's fine. They are gaining a lot of life with this Faithful Flicker. Ooh, that's scary. That's not infinite yet, but it's kind of close. So if they get a second familiar, that's infinite. Oh, and I guess that's what they're digging for, right? Yeah, they're digging for the second familiar, because then they can make infinite life with the Ghostly Flicker loop. Seagate Oracle. Okay. Yeah, they're going hard. Slippery Bogo, it's fine. I guess I'll play it this turn, right? White, green, green. That's an Armadillo Cloak. So we're hitting for 11 here. We're going to gain 11. And I will play a Bogle. I don't believe the Bogle's going to make a world of difference, but you never know. So I could be dead here if they find the second familiar. Because then they just have infinite life and eventually we would lose. I mean, I'm not technically dead because they would need to have the familiar. I know, but they have the Ephemerate, so they could get the Ghostly Flicker back like that. Okay. Yeah, they're digging. And they're digging deep, deep, deep. Yeah, I think the foil on turn 1 actually gave them the breathing room that they needed. Because if we start off with Utopia Sprawl, that just gives us like so much power on turn 2. We have the white mana, we have the thing. Why would you snap your bird? Shouldn't you have snapped your Archaeomancer? I think that would have made way more sense. Because then you can replay the Archaeomancer and get something back. Actually, isn't Archaeomancer snap infinite already? Because the Archaeomancer is 3 mana, the snap is 1, and they have the Faithful and the Pharaohs and everything, so they could just snap Archaeomancer for infinite life. Okay, well, it is what it is. Guess I'll repeat my play from last turn, and I'll just Glade Cover Scout, Armadillo Cloak, Beatdown. That is still not going to be lethal, but maybe our opponent is a little incentivized to block here, so they gain some life. They are not. And I agree with them. Makes total sense. Bogo, pass the turn. I would have loved to find Ancestral Mask that turn, because Ancestral Mask would have punched for so much damage that I think they would have been forced to block with at least a few things. Again, I'm not worried about the birds, but it is what it is. So I imagine our opponent finds what they're looking for here. But I think we had lost. We should have lost last turn already. Preordain. Yeah, the foil turn 1 got us. That's impressive. Opponent tops. There's the second familiar. I just want them to show me that they got it, and they do. Let's see if they do it again. Yep, all right, I'll concede to that, that's fine. They showed me they have the loop, and we move on to the next one. So, what opponent said thank you. So what do I want here? I believe I want to play the Red Blasts, because they are overall pretty good at interacting with our opponent. I don't think Standard Bearer is great. I think I'm fine cutting the Aura Gnarlids because our opponent is not going to be cutting snaps. Snaps are just too good for them, for their own place. So I think I'm fine with the way things are. What else can I cut here? I think Sentinel's Eyes doesn't matter too much. I think Armadillo Cloak is important because it gives trample. Is that it? Like 2 Gnarlid. Do I want the Ram Throughs? I could bring in Fairy Macabre. I could bring in Flaring Pain. Maybe I should? bring in Flare. Oh, if you haven't watched it, my last video was me playing familiars, and I think I'm actually going to bring in the Ramthroughs because there is a good chance our opponent is going to be on what's its face, Stonehorn Dignitary, and I do want a way to maybe break that up. And also, there is a chance that if they are playing like prismatic strands, I can just get them with a ram through. Meaning that I probably want to cut. What else? Maybe I'm fine cutting like a Hyena Umbra, because first strike is not really important in this matchup. Okay, so let's get a faster hand this time around. So this is a hand that plays a scout on turn 1, rancor on turn 2, but then we are betting on drawing a land so we can keep playing, and we don't even have our collars. I'll say this is a mulligan. And this hand sort of has the opposite problem, but I guess I'll keep it. I'll bottom a Ancestral Mask. We have our collars, but unfortunately, we do not have a creature. Our opponent capped on 6, but hopefully Rumble's gonna get us to some of our beaters. There's a Silhana. I'm fine just playing that instead then. Let's see if we get tagged with a foil. We did not. Ash Barrens. Sure. There's a Plains. Straight up Plains. Okay. There's a Chancery. So here, I think I'm fine rumbling. I'll take a Rancor. Can't cast it this turn, but I can cast a Ethereal Armor on the Silhana and hit in for 2. And then I believe next turn, ooh, Double Faithful into Preordain. That's really good for our opponent. Double Faithful is going to give him a lot of time. Another dude. So I cannot rumble into something else. And again, I am a bit pinched on collars. So do I want to rumble, try to hit a green source? I guess I do, because otherwise I'm playing Rancor and then hitting for maybe 5, and I don't think that's too great. Abundant Growth would be pretty good, but I can't cast it this turn. Another Ethereal Armor is actually maybe what I just want to do, because that scales very fast. This is 5 damage now, and then I don't even know the math, but I imagine it's a lot of damage next turn from Ancestral Mask for each other enchantment. So Ancestral Mask would be +6, right? It would be +4 by itself, and then +2 from the Ethereal Armors. So we would be hitting for 11 next turn. So right off the bat, oh, they revoke one of my armors. That's okay. The third faithful. All right. That's really good. Yep. Ethereal armor, ancestral. So our opponent removed one of our things, and we are still hitting them for 11. I imagine they are going to Meeting of Minds at end of turn. That gains them 3 life. They draw 2 cards. But if they had Meeting of Minds, then I think yeah, because if they had Meeting of Minds, I think they should have done it in response to my Ancestral Mask, because they're playing foil, and then if they hit foil, I'm pretty sure they wanted to foil that. Also, opponent's avatar is really cute. I really like this, and we win. Okay, they didn't even resolve their preordain, but I'm fine with that. Have we seen anything that would make us want to change our plan? Honestly, I don't think so. I think I'll just submit again and we'll try to do that again. I think... So here we have a bunch of dudes, but we don't have pumps. But considering that we have Utopia Sprawl, Rumble, Abundant Growth, I think I'm fine with this. Land is pretty good. Guess I'll open up with a Utopia Sprawl on green. Let's see if we get foiled again. We do get foiled again. All right. I'm not too worried about that. We have the second land, we have dudes. So I believe I'm going to go Abundant Growth on the plains, draw a card. That's a pump, and then I'm gonna Glade Cover Scout. Opponent is just passing. Do I want Armadillo Cloak immediately here? I think so. Because if I play Rumble, I get tagged by Prohibit. Armadillo Cloak only gets tagged by Negate. And I think I'm fine with that. Let's see if it resolves. I would imagine our opponent has something to interact with us. Yep, there's a Negate. That's fine. We used our mana most efficiently. 3 cards in hand. Is this a Meeting of Minds? Oh, okay. So our opponent's gonna do the Drifter trick. Yep, they draw a lot of cards from this, and we don't have a lot going on. So let's rumble. Ancestral Mask is fine. A little unexciting, but fine. And I guess, whoop, and I guess I'm playing that immediately. It's not a lot of damage, as our scout is just a 3/3, but it is some damage. But our opponent's gonna draw 3 more cards here, which is not great, especially considering we don't have anything going on. Ooh, Revoke Existence really hurts. Yeah, Revoke Existence really hurts now, because I don't have anything going on anymore. I need to draw like a good pump spell here. That's not it. So I guess I'll play Utopia Sprawl. I'll put it on red, put some fear into our opponent, and then I'll bogle, and I'm passing the turn, unfortunately. We are flooding out pretty bad here, and I think that might be the death of us, because familiars draw so many cards. Yep. Okay, Rumble is good. I guess I'm casting it like this. Ancestral Mask is pretty good again. Yeah, right. So I want the payoff here. Ancestral, I guess it doesn't really matter. I won't be able to attack this turn regardless. Do you have another foil? Yikes. Seems like it. Yup. There's foil number 2. Discarding Island Lorien. Okay. Yeah, things are not looking great for us. I imagine you have another Lorien in hand. Oh, it's a Drifter. Okay, yeah, that makes sense too. No attacks this time around. Rumble again. So Cloak would be great, but it doesn't punch through. Ethereal Armor is +3, so it's a 4/4 first striker, but then we don't have Trample. That's rough, but I think I have to take the Ethereal Armor here. Even if I would rather have a Armadillo Cloak most of the time. I don't think there's any way this bites me, right? Yeah, because if they double block with the Drifters, it's okay. Interesting that they didn't. Oh, they're not. They haven't attacked with the Drifter because they're gonna Meeting of Minds, right? Again, I think you should be doing that in response to my plays sometimes. I mean, maybe you don't have a third foil. Maybe you're just playing the 2 that a lot of the lists are playing. Yep, Ephemerate sucks. So this is 2 turns where I don't get to attack anymore. They are snapping their Faithful? Why not snap the Drifter? Oh, they're also playing Mnemonic Wall? Okay. What are you getting back? The Ephemerate, I would imagine. Revoke Existence. Okay. Oh, because you have an Ephemerate next turn anyway. That's fair. Take 4. Sure. Yeah. So I don't have an attack stat here, and I'll probably try to hit the Mnemonic Wall on the rebound. Destroy target blue permanent. But it would be like almost inconceivable for them to not have something. Yeah. So they have Ghostly Flicker here. I am not technically dead because I could like through some miracle draw into like a bunch of hitters plus the crash through. I'm not gonna not crash through, ram through. I'm not gonna sit through that. I think I'm fine conceding here. Our opponent just had the interaction. Unfortunate. Like, I think that is supposed to be a good matchup for us, but the foils made a huge difference there. In game number 1 and game number 3, foils were the thing that won them the game. The foils interacting, the first foil on game 1 hitting my Utopia Sprawl, causing me to just be extremely slow out of the gate. And then on game number 3, the other foil hitting our enchantments. Really good. Yep. So I guess if you're playing familiars and you're worried about Boggles, have some foils in your deck. I'll see you guys for round number 2. Welcome back to round number 2. We are on the draw against Saburu card game. This hand doesn't have a 1-drop, but it has a land, a growth, rumble, and a whole bunch of enchantments. I think I'm fine keeping this. Basic Swamp into Pass. Okay. Gladecover Scout is really good. Yeah, I think I'll play the Scout just to like be on the market for ripping lands from the top of the library and not having to do a whole lot of setup. Swamp into Island. Is this like Blue-black terror, blue-black delver. Okay. So it is probably some sort of blue-black terror thing. Another scout is not what I wanted to see. I guess I am abundant growthing. Land. Uh, okay. I will attack here. I don't imagine they trade with my delver. Uh, oh, they do trade. Okay, that's fine. I got more dudes coming. I do have to be a little worried about. Yeah, they have more delvers too. I do have to be a little worried about suffocating fumes, arms of Hadar, sort of things. So I am just going to play a scout, and I am going to play an ethereal armor while our opponent does not have spell pierce or something like it. So now my creature is out of reach of arms of Hadar, of suffocating fumes, and Delver doesn't flip. Yeah, it is blue-black terror. And they milled a Troll of Khazad-dûn and a Delver of Secrets. But these decks sometimes have... Ooh, Gurmag Angler. Cool. These decks sometimes can have, like, one main deck copy of Extract a Confession. So I am going to Abundant Growth, resolves. That's not a land. And I am going to attempt to Rancor, resolves too. And now I am comfortable crashing in. So our opponent is playing a good deal of creatures, I imagine. Because they showed us Troll of Khazad-dûn, Gurmag Angler, Delver of Secrets. They're playing Mental Note, so I have to imagine they're playing Tolarian Terror. And we currently have them on a 3-turn clock, considering that they'll have to chump with the Gurmag Angler at some point. Yep, so they brainstorm, Thought Scour to clear, and we are racing. Okay. Ooh, that is really bad for us. Unexpected Fangs is probably one of the worst cards they could have. That's just so much power, and it's a pretty big swing. Not hitting the third land is also so bad. Well, since our options are just atrocious here regardless, I am going to Rumble. Hopefully it's going to resolve. No Spell Pierce? No Spell Pierce. No land? Man. Okay. Guess I'll take a Hyena Umbra because it's a 1-mana play. And I can't really attack now, right? So I guess I'm passing. Luckily, my Glade Cover Scout blocks very well. Guess I'm taking 3 here. Sure. Brainstorm. There's a Terror. And a passing of the turn. And there's a land. Cool. Now, how do I want to play this? Because Armadillo Cloak get in would be my best play. Ancestral Mask get in would be 8, 9 additional damage, so it would be a hit for 16. But then we would be dead on the crackback, so I don't want to do that. Opponent has 2 cards in hand. I guess I go for the highest value play right away. So I'll just go Cloak, Counterspell. Okay, so we are not attacking this turn. Oh, but I'm actually just dead. Oh, no, I'm not dead yet. I'm close, but I'm not dead yet. I mean, actually, if our opponent hits like a removal spell here, we die. A Snuff Out would kill us because they get to hit my, or even a Cast Down. They get to hit my Eldrazi Spawn. Okay, they didn't. Brainstorm. Why didn't you do that before? You brainstorm first, and then if you hit a Snuff Out or a Cast Down, I'm dead. Okay. Rumble. Yeah, it's not looking great, I think. So let's actually think about this for a bit. I have 3 mana right now. I could go something like Hyena Umbra, Glade Cover Scout. No, I think I'm fine just going Rumble and seeing what happens, because the Rumble gives us another blocker. Okay, so there is no life gain, which is the thing that I would like to see. There is an Ancestral Mask, but it's an Ancestral Mask that I can't necessarily cast. And I already have one stuck in hand. So I guess I'm taking a Forest, play the Forest. I am going to play Hyena Umbra here first, okay? Then I'm playing a Glade Cover Scout, and then I think I'm getting in for 9 with the intention of trying to kill my opponent next turn. They don't block, expectedly, pass the turn. So we are not currently dead to a removal spell anymore. However, we are dead on the next turn. Yeah, okay, so they're doing the thing. Go to blocks, block here, 3, 4, 5. I think I'm actually more interested in sacrificing the Glade Cover Scout than I am the Eldrazi spawn, because maybe the mana next turn makes a difference. And then I'm gonna hold priority, and I'm going to sacrifice my spawn. Oh no, 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 I'm gonna mess up. Wait, hold that. No, hold. Okay, I think I'm fine. Okay, what? Why? Okay, okay. So that makes absolutely no sense. Why wouldn't you Unexpected Fangs the Tolarian Terror? Because now you gained no life, and you could have gained 6. Okay, so I guess I'm gonna play it safe. I'll cast Sentinel's Eyes, exile some nonsense from my graveyard. That's a counter spell. Sure, I'll do it again. Yeah, and we win. Woo! So I think our opponent, like, not to be mean, but I do think our opponent made a lot of mistakes that game. The brainstorm after combat on the turn that they could have found a removal spell to kill us, I think was a big one. And putting the fangs on the Gurmag Angler here meant that they didn't know that we could sacrifice the Eldrazi spawn to have them not gain any life. Oh, they just conceded the match? Oh, opponent. I mean, okay, I guess I'll take it. We are now 1-1. I mean, all right. I guess our opponent didn't want to continue playing after that. Sure. I'll see you guys here for round number 3. We won the Dyro. Oh, welcome to round 3, by the way. We won the Dyro, and we are on the play against arturcosta. I don't think this is a keep. Oh, mulligan. I think this can be fine. Yes, especially on the play. So I guess I'm keeping it. It's not a great hand, but I think I'm keeping it. And I'm bottoming the Hyena Umbra, I guess. Utopia Sprawl for white. Pass the turn. And Artur is playing red, which is supposed to be a good matchup for us. And I am just going to go Bogo into Ethereal Armor here. And if we hit a land next turn, we are in very good shape. They hit a land drop, and so they're playing Rally Red. Tomb Raider, no attacks. This is fine. I'll Abundant Growth, draw a card. No land, but that should be okay. I guess I'm putting a Sentinel's Eyes on this. I imagine they are gonna chump with the Percussionist, hit a mountain, so there's their next land drop. Resolve, Burning Tree into Galvanic Blast. Okay. I imagine the second we hit a third mana source, the game is over. Let's see if my imagination is correct. Armadillo Cloak, GG's. Let's go to game number 2. So, for the sideboard, since this is Rally Red, I think I want Lifelink and the masks, or do it. So this is the thing, right? I think on this matchup, I don't even want the masks, right? Because if I get to land a creature and it just gets out of range of things like End the Festivities, I think I'm just golden. I think Aura Gnarlid can be slow, so I guess I'll just cut 1. And is that it? Yeah, I guess, right? Yeah, I think I'm not sideboarding more than that, because I think I'm not very well versed in the red decks, so I would imagine there's not a lot that they can do once my creature has an Armadillo Cloak on them. So I think that's okay. This isn't great, but it has all the mana, so I guess I'll keep it. We have the mana, we have dudes, we have a thing to put on our dudes. Another land is not really what I wanted. So, okay, there is an End the Festivities. So glad I did, glad it's not Electrickery. So I guess I'm playing this, and then I am Utopia Sprawling here for white. And then I think I'm just using Gladecover Scout plus Ethereal Armor immediately. And again, the reason I'm doing this instead of playing the Silhana is that so I don't get hit by another End the Festivities here. Land plus Raleigh. Tomb Raider can't really do anything. Guess I'll play the Plains. Abundant Growth the Plains. Draw a card. Chain for 4. Opponent takes it. And then I am just going to play a Silhana here in case I need a little bit more clock. Plays Raleigh. Are you getting in? You are. Interesting. Am I trading? And I think I am. I don't think having the Silhana makes a whole lot of difference. And trading now, ugh. And this is getting a little sketchy for me, I think. But I guess I still pressure. I don't really know if I'm the aggressor here or not, but I am flooding out. What I was going to say, ooh, hurts. Okay. What I was going to say was that I'm fine trading because it's one less creature to bushwhack me. Yep. And it's one less creature for them to chump with later on. So I'm down to 6. Like, I need to hit something now. Guess I'll take a planes. I mean, yep. And I am attacking because I want to guarantee my life gain. Otherwise, my opponent could attack me, bolt their creature, and then I don't have anything else to do. Down to 10. Yep. Like, I could still die here. This is not GG because I'm down to 6 life. Is this lethal? That's 9. Do you have a bolt? Oh, and they had it. Okay, so we were one turn too slow. Impressive. Very impressive. Yep, okay. I don't think I'm changing anything. I think I'm just submitting. Man. So this hand doesn't have functional mana. Eh, I mean, I guess it's a keep, right? It's got collars, creature, but we don't have life gain. Maybe I shouldn't have attacked on one of the turns last game, because that would have, no, that wouldn't have made a difference, right? Because they would have just, no, I don't know, no. Maybe I was too aggressive that game, and I could have held back once. So our opponent mulligan to 6. We don't want to see a turn 1. Oh, maybe that was a reason to not play the scout. If I get hit by end of festivities here, okay, we didn't. They are attacking, that's fine. I am immediately cycling this for a plains, and I am putting a hyena umbra on this. And I think I'm fine holding back once because of Goblin Tomb Raider, because Goblin Tomb Raider races me. Okay, synth plus boat. I don't imagine you're attacking. Yep, okay. So I guess I go Rumble, no Armadillo Cloak, but there is an Ancestral Mask that's plus 4 damage, right? So I imagine that's overall better than the alternatives. Rancor, Crash for 4. I'm feeling more confident this game than I was last game. But again, being on the play is a pretty big difference. I would imagine you have another land. Ooh, do you not have another land? I'm taking 2. I'm fine with that. Ooh, and they lose the bolt. Unfortunate for them. I guess I could represent something like Tamio safekeeping. I don't think that makes a whole lot of difference. So we know their hand is absolutely stacked here, right? They don't have land, so all they do is have spells. There's probably a lot of burn over there. Now I think the question is, if they bushwhack, do I block or do I not block? Because theoretically, if they swing out, I have exactly 8 on the crackback, and any enchantment would likely be lights out too. The cure? Okay. I think I'm fine taking 2. Any enchantment. Come on. So I guess I just swing, right? I don't think there's any math I should be doing here. Swing. They need to jump, sure. Go down to 1. Yep. Bolt me. Uh-huh. Yep. Pass the turn. Man, this is so tense. Oh, okay, we win. We got there. Whew, that was tense. And we were not gonna draw an enchantment. It was just gonna be an R&R lid. So we just raced them. We were lucky that we won game number 1, so we were on the play for game number 3. I'll see you guys for round number 4. Welcome back to round number 4. We are on the draw against naddyeffintabs. I think this is a fine hand, right? This is plains into cycle for forest into, I don't really know. Oh, we're against Rakdos Madness. Glade Cover Scout is not really what I want to see. Land, pass the turn. I think I might not actually even play Utopia Sprawl next turn. Looting. I think I'll just play like Forest, Bogle, Ethereal Armor. There's a Bog and a Looting. Oh no, the Looting is the Looting that they cast. And they just play a Kitchen Imp. Okie dokie. I will get my forest here. Untap. Okay, so that's good for next turn. Bogo, Ethereal Armor, pass the turn. I mean, it's not even good, right? It's just like a thing to do with my Utopia Sprawl. But our opponent is coming at us very quick. Please don't have another Kitchen Imp. I think another Kitchen Imp would be very annoying. Gosh darn it. So they discarded a Vampire's Kiss. Play an Epicure, sure. Gonna get hit for 4 here. Enchantment. Okay, that counts. So land, Utopia Sprawl, white. Oh, I messed up, right? Yeah, I needed this on green so I could double spell this turn. That's unfortunate. Yeah. So if I lose, it's on me. I'm gonna, yeah, sure, I would just like play a 1 mana dork to block the Epicure, but that can 100% matter in these tight games. Yep. So I get hit for 5 here. I think I'm on Armadillo Cloak or Bust now. Third Fateless Looting. Lots of card advantage happening over there. Alms of the Vein, that's very bad, because that's like not only 3 damage, but it's a Lightning Helix. Oh, we could just die here. Okay, we're not dead yet, but we're gonna fall to like 3 life? 2 life, I think? Armadillo Cloak. Ethereal Armor's not gonna do it. Yep, I'm just dead. Okay, so I guess being on the draw there was not ideal. I do think I want the life link. Let me actually check real quick the sideboards because I want to see if the Rakdos Madness decks are currently playing. What's its face? Wait, where's the Rakdos Madness? Are they not? Huh, it's not even showing up a lot. Okay. So I'm gonna assume that Mask of Law and Grace is actually decent in this matchup. I think I'm fine. Wait, no, what am I talking about? Mask of Law and Grace doesn't even do anything, right? Is it just like cut an aura Gnarlid again? I don't know if I love that. Could play like a ram through, but that doesn't even seem that good either. Could play Fairy Macabre to get rid of Snackers. I guess the mask at least protects from chump blocking, but I don't even know if that's okay. I'll cut the other Aura Gnarlid and I'll bring in like 1 mask, and we'll see how that feels. I would love to be on the play, please. That's not a keepable hand. This is a hand that doesn't do a whole lot, but we have the collars. This is a hand that gets got by quite a few things, right? Also, there's the question of what am I getting rid of? Am I getting rid? I mean, I guess I'm keeping it. Is that even true? Am I keeping this? So that goes Gladecover Scout into turn 2. If I want to get white mana, I can't play Rancor or play the Silhana. I think I just mulligan this. Yeah, that's like the best hand we've had so far. Keep. So this is land into Bogle. Then this is turn 2 growth into ethereal. Oh, whoa. Into ethereal armor. Bottom these 2. Yep, I think I'm keeping this. This deck also just has a whole bunch of tap lands, but I do need to hit a Armadillo Cloak at some point. Okay. I don't think this changes my... Does this not change my plans? Yeah, I guess I'll do my original plan. Okay. Am I hedging against End the Festivities or am I hedging against Extract a Confession? And I think I'm hedging against End the Festivities here. No. No! God. Yeah. Oh, we even had the Armadillo Cloak. Okay. Yeah, that's rough. Very rough. I guess I'm taking the Scout. Yeah. I don't feel good about it, but I guess that's what I'm doing. So then next turn it's like Scout plus Rancor. Oh, and they didn't have another land. Okay. So Scout, Rancor. I guess I could have Rancored the spawn to hit for 2 now, but I think I would rather just keep the spawn around. Okay, a Carnarium's pretty good for our opponent. They bounced the Bojuka Bog. Why? That feels strange. They just discarded. Okay, so there's a cloak. Yep, makes sense. So I think that I should probably be mulliganing aggressively with this deck. Not overly aggressive, but I do think that keeping a mediocre hand doesn't make a whole lot of sense, especially when in matchups like this, you just get to go over your opponent, even if you are on low resources. Problem is, we are no longer on the play. So now our opponent theoretically gets to go extract a confession before we get to set up our things. Is this fine? So this is a one land hand, but it's a one land hand that has quite a few threats. It also has a bunch of abundant growths. So I think this is a hand that doesn't beat our opponent's explosive draws, but it does beat the hands that our opponent is trying to interact with us. So the extract a confessions type of things. So they mulligan to 6. I really don't know. I guess I'm gonna keep. I'm gonna keep, and I'm going to keep based on the fact that I think our opponent is gonna try to do the interact with us plan. Jagged Barrens, take 1. Another threat is not what I want. Hopefully our opponent just kills our creature right now. No luck. Kitchen Imp would be very annoying. Yep, there he is. There he is. There's also a snacker in the graveyard. Yikes. So I need lands. Okay, land is good. Pretty sure I'm gonna go abundant growth. Okay, and then I think I go Rancor and start clocking. I do need to find life gain. Also important to note, Ledgewalker does not block creatures with flying. It just can't be blocked by creatures without flying. Is this another looting? Yep. So Snacker comes back. Hounds of the Vein hurts. It's a lot of pressure and a lot of life gain at the same time. Yep, I'm already down to 12. Does our opponent hit their land? They do not. And we don't hit our thing either. So I guess I am abundant growthing here. Okay. Man. Yeah, I think this one got away from us. Maybe I should just be mulliganing to life gain? I don't know. If you are an experienced... Oh, wait. Let's actually do it the other way, right? If you are an experienced Boggles pilot, let me know, please. I think I'll just play the Ledgewalker here. So maybe we are not dead this turn. In fact, I don't think we're going to be dead this turn, right? But next turn is the crucial one. And even if we hit, like, if we hit life gain, lifelink, yeah. If we hit lifelink, it's not even that great because it's just 3 points of life. If we hit Armadillo Cloak, I think we might be okay. Ooh, no. Yep, we are dead. Dead, dead, dead. Yeah, unfortunately, our opponent just had us here. I'm not going to make them go through it. They're going to have 5 cards in hand. One of them is going to be able to deal us 1 point of damage. And oh god, oh my god, we were so far away. Okay, so we were like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cards away. Yep. Yeah, well, sometimes that happens. I think that matchup should be good for us, but maybe I just didn't mulligan aggressively enough. I think maybe I'm just too afraid of not getting to play Magic in some of these matches. We are on the play against Nallemon. This hand is very cool, except it doesn't have a creature. This hand does have a creature and acceleration and yada yada. I'm just gonna get rid of the Aura Gnarlid. I don't really know what exactly this card is for, but I haven't been overly impressed with it. I know that in a couple of versions of this deck from the past, some people played Aura Gnarlids in the sideboard, so that you had the option of bringing it in the matchups where you know it's not gonna get hit. I am keeping and I am getting rid of you, thank you very much. Oh yeah, and I'm on the play. Nice. Utopia Sprawl on white. Resolves. We didn't get turn 0 foiled again. Whoop. There's an island and a passing of the turn. Okay. So what does this mean? Could be High Tide, could be Fae, could be a whole bunch of things, right? In which case, am I trying to play around Spell Pierce? And I think the answer is no, because I think that I just want to put a clock in play. And if my Sentinel's Eyes get Spell Pierced, I'm fine with that. I don't want my Rumble to get Spell Pierced. That would be pretty bad. Okay. Okay, it's not Fae. It's not High Tide. Aquifer. Is this another blue-black terror deck? So the fact that our opponent just played island means that they likely have a counterspell of some sort, in which case I believe I get in for 2, and I think I'm just playing the Ledgewalker. I would love to resolve a Rumble for a mana source here, but I think it's not going to be in the cards for me. And at least if this is blue-black terror, having the Ledgewalker means that I get to pivot my enchantments over to the other creature so I don't get blocked by the ground fatties, Terror and Gurmag and the like. That's just getting an island, sure. So our opponent still got some use out of their mana, and they're just playing the islands, no Aquifer. Interesting. So I imagine the Rancor would get a response from our opponent. Am I fine doing that? I guess. Let's see it. Yep, that was good enough to get a response from our opponent. That's fine. So, first card, first piece of interaction out of our opponent's hand. Problem is that, okay, so they don't necessarily, no, because if they had Spell Pierce, they would have played it, I guess, right? Yeah, I think they were just probably holding up Brainstorm. However, I do need to be a little careful now because they are getting very close to that 1-mana Terror. And that can be a pretty big problem for us. Another cycle of Alorian, another island. Are you... Okay, they cycled to clear the Brainstorm. Okay, now they play the Aquifer. All right. Now, the way things currently are, I do think I'm just trying to do something, right? So I guess I'll play the Rumble. Oh, it resolved. Okay, interesting. Well, I'm definitely taking the land, right? And then I guess I'm going to Abundant Growth here. Oh, it's fairies, it's not terror. Okay. Annoying. Very annoying, actually. Okay. I guess I'm just coming in then. Because if it is fairies, I don't mind trading. Yep, that's okay. Yeah, I don't mind trading here then. Means there's not going to be any ninja in my future currently. Monarch. Okay. Does this do everything that I need? I believe so, right? No, not really. So I get to take the Monarch, but then I'm left with one creature, which maybe is an Eldrazi spawn that gets tagged by a thing. Okay, so am I going to respect Snuff Out? Am I going to respect what? Our opponent brainstormed twice, so there's a decent chance they don't have Snuff Outs in hand anymore. I wouldn't like to lose my Glade Cover Scout, but if I attack, what I imagine happens is that my opponent blocks the Glade Cover Scout, I take the Monarch. So this is happening regardless. The Utopia Sprawl is just happening. And I'm gonna choose white again, I think. Maybe I didn't have to do that. I don't know. Now comes the question, right? Am I just trading with this Thorn? Or am I attempting to take the Monarchy? Also, then Cast Down becomes live for my opponent to do crimes with. Yeah, I think I'm just punching through, like forcing them to trade. That's an 8-8. Wow, that's actually pretty good. Not having the Rancor here, of course, sucks. Yep, opponent blocks immediately, makes sense. I am not the Monarch, so I'm sort of hoping... Okay, that's fine. That's annoying because the Snacker is going to come back at end of turn. Okay, Abundant Growth. So I guess I growth here and we'll see if I get tagged. No, actually, I don't even know if that's true, right? Maybe I Sentinel's Ice? Yeah, guess I'll Sentinel's Ice first. Exile some stuff, I don't think it matters at all. See if I get hit by a stutter. We do. Okay. So I could either do that again. Yeah, I think I'm actually fine doing that again, right? Because then I get to hit, and our opponent needs to have a removal or something. Okay. Then I Abundant Growth here. Okay, not great. Hit for 1. I imagine this just goes through. No. Interesting. Okay. I mean, I think maybe it would have made more sense for them to let it go through, because then they can just hit me back. Or are they just as desperate to keep me off cards that they are willing to just toss a stutter away like that? I don't know. There's a Gurmag, there's another Snacker. So the third, what's its face? The third stutter would be a big problem. Ooh, that's hot. That's a hot draw. Okay. Yep. I'm fine casting this. Do you have a counterspell? You do not. Guess I'll Ancestral Mask and get demolished by a Snuff Out. Yeah. Oh, there is a stutter then. They just didn't care about the. Mm, yeah, that sucks. So there was the third stutter. Yeah, that's not great. Because now I can't attack. I'm gonna get hit by 10 on the crackback. And then they even have a blocker for me next turn. So I would need to draw. I don't know if that's right. Like, unless you have a ninja? No ninja. Yeah, I don't think that's correct. I think you just attack with the angler. Regardless, I'm dead. I am dead. Okay. So our opponent had pretty good answers for us. In this case, I do think I want the red blasts. Do think I want what else? I don't know if the masks make much of a difference. I think I get to keep the Aura Gnarlids for this one, because they are just decent creatures by themselves. I think I get to cut the Hyena Umbras. There's not going to be a whole lot of destruction happening. And what else am I cutting? Sentinel's Eye seemed very good. I could cut a threat, but I don't know if I wish to do that. I don't want to cut the top end. I guess I just shave something like shave an abundant growth. Yeah. Maybe shaving the growth is not great when I'm bringing in Red Blast, but I did what I did. Is this a keepable hand? On the play, I guess, because I get to go abundant growth into probably a rumble trying to find a dude, and then the rumble gives me some insurance against edict effects. Opponent mulligans to 6. So I would imagine that fairies is one of the better decks against this iteration of fairies in particular. I think it's one of the better decks against us because they get to bring a whole bunch of edicts post sideboard, just open mana like this. Okay. Guess I play a scout, and I guess I play an ethereal armor immediately. I imagine that gets tagged by a spell pierce. Yep, spell pierce. A no. Ooh, that's true. I have to worry about a no too. Okay, that's fine. There's a cycling of Valorian, finding another island and just playing the island. Sure. Am I looking for a clock or am I looking for insurance? And I believe I'm looking for insurance, right? Rumble, that just resolves. So I can cast all of these cards. I believe I am the most interested in what? I already have a Rancor. Ancestral Mask is good. I think I go Ancestral here. Okay. And do I want to offer my armor or my Rancor for a thing to hit me? It would be quite difficult for our opponent to have... I guess I'm going with Rancor. Yeah, I guess I'm going with Rancor. It would be very difficult for our opponent to have something like an untapped black man. I mean, not super difficult, but blue-black decks normally don't tend to play a whole lot of those. But our opponent could go like untapped black source into suffocating fumes here, and it would suck. They just go brainstorm. I would imagine there's going to be some sort of... Nope. I was going to say there was going to be some sort of clearing. There was not. Am I fine to just keep clocking like this? Do I want to go for an Ancestral Mask here holding up Red Blast? So let's say I go Ancestral Mask, crash in for 7, our opponent's at 10, and I get to hold Red Blast for a blue card, but then I'm no longer protected against Extract a Confession for 1 turn. Yeah, I think I'm fine trying to be aggressive here. That's a counter spell. I will fight back. Let's see if I get got. I do not. Okay. And we just win. That's great. Nice. Let's go to game number 3. Let's go. Give me that 3-2. Oh, I can taste it. I can taste it. I really want it. Let's go. Let's go. Maybe I should swap. Okay, I didn't have enough time to do that. But the Red Blast saved us there. That's what matters. That's what matters. This is not a keepable hand, unfortunately. Our colors do not align. They do not align. Mulligan. Yeah. Yeah, I'm down with this. The hand is very weird, but I think I'm down with this. Is there any reason to keep Bogle over Glade Cover Scout? I don't know. I guess I'll just bottom the Bogle. And hopefully our opponent goes like tap land, turn one. Play a tap land. Just, no. Dude, listen to me. You should play a tap land. Now I can't Utopia Sprawl. There's also the question of what color do I name? Oh lord. I guess I'm just playing a scout, right? Yeah. And again, I'm gonna start with the scout because it doesn't get tagged by a no, spell pierce, and things of that nature. Come on, buddy. Ah. Maybe this deck should be playing the tap lands, the like gates. I have played once. Okay. I have played once against a Bogos deck that just played a Gates package. It was pretty interesting. Man, come on. No, why? Why me? Yep. Like, there's no world in which my Utopia Sprawl is gonna resolve. Take her one. Triple Red Blast. That's really sad. Uh-huh. So, do I just play another Bogle? Mm, dude, that's yeah. I shouldn't have cut the abundant growth. I don't think. Should maybe have cut one of the aura gnarlids. I guess I'll do this, knowing that it's gonna get hit by something. Yep. Oh, they just passed, and we hit a land drop. Okay, that's not too bad. I mean, it is pretty bad, but let's see if we get ambushed here. Please ambush me. Yes, that's fine. Trade, sure. Play another one. So our opponents out of lands. We are out of lands, but they are much favored in this situation. They have cantrips. They have like Lorien, revealed. Yeah, like this is again a situation. I think I'm desperate enough where I think I'm fine offering my Bogle to be ambushed by another stutter so I can resolve an abundant growth. Yes, okay, I think that's fine by me. Deal. That's a trade that I'm more than happy to make. I get to abundant growth now. Land. Okay. That's not great, but it's something. And I think I will pretty aggressively try to hit any play my opponent tries to make. Does that count? Yeah, okay. I think that's a little too aggressive. Maybe I should, because that is a creature and that blocks. Okay, okay. Guess I'm trying to resolve this now. And then hopefully my opponent is not playing with his removals anymore. That's just a 3-3. It's not great. And I'm pinched on colored mana again because of my thing. Okay, they discarded a snacker. Might as well attack. They can't block anyway. Ooh, that's a good draw. Yep, that's a good draw because that gives me a plains. Nice. Now I get to go ethereal armor here. I will respond. Counter target blue spell. I would love my ethereal armor to resolve. Thank you very much. Now that's a 6-6. That's decent. Take 6. And I am shields down for now. Okay, deep analysis, while being a draw spell for my opponent, actually does change the clock from 3 turns to 2. Possibly even for like next turn, depending on what they do or don't do here. Are you casting it? Cycle, Island, another Modern Age. Come on, come on, give me a pump. Pump enchantment. Any pump enchantment I'm happy with. Anyone. Let's go. Not what I asked for, okay? I mean, technically, it does something, but it's not a whole lot. Take 6. So Aura Gnarlid here can't be chump blocked, which is extremely relevant. And I would imagine our opponent should be playing around me having at least one Red Blast in hand, right? Because I think it's pretty obvious that if I'm not playing my cards, they are either lands or they are more Red Blasts. They get to flip the Vector Glider, but it doesn't really matter. It can't chump block my Aura Gnarlid. The Glade Cover Scout at least is insurance against... Oh no, it's not insurance against Extract a Confession, because now they just have a bunch of things. No, please, no! No! Yeah, I'm gonna get hit now. They found it. Gosh darn it. Okay. Yeah, that card is very good against this. It's not over yet, but it's pretty close. I think if I miss this turn, it's just too bad. That's very bad. I'll play it, but I think I'm done. I'm gonna die with some red blasts in hand. Yeah, Extract a Confession is just so good against this deck. And even, I think I'm just done like in multiple ways, because my opponent gets to attack now. I think I tried to blast... No. I think I tried to blast their Vector Glider, because at least it changes the clock significantly, but I'm not very confident it's going to resolve. Oh, it does. Okay. That's not too bad then. I take 4. Deck. Come on. And now I think I'm dead. Yep. Can't attack, can't block. I think my only hope is that I draw Armadillo Cloak, put it on the Silhana, and then crash in. That would give me 3 life, would put me to 5. No, it doesn't even work, right? Yeah, I think I'm just deterministically dead. Okay, so they're just hitting for 4. I guess theoretically it makes sense, and I guess theoretically I don't do anything about it. So Armadillo Cloak does something now. Okay, we do have an Armadillo Cloak. Opponent has 3 cards in hand, though. Guess I try to cloak it up. I imagine there's going to be some interaction. I'm going to interact back. Does my opponent have 2 pieces of interaction in hand? Guess we're about to find out. And they do. And it's a stutter. So we are dead. Okay, so we did a 2-3 thing again. I'm going to actually just go straight into, as soon as Magic Online lets me. Okay, I'm just going to go straight into thoughts on the deck. All right, so what did we think? It's an interesting experience. I had an inkling that I was not going to really enjoy playing this deck very much because it's not my type of deck usually. I guess I didn't quite understand how much the deck loses to itself. Like, we lost the Familiars match because we just didn't draw well enough. Our opponent had interaction, sure, but there was the whole thing of like, you are trying to hit your creatures, you're trying to hit your enchantments, and you're trying to hit your colors and land drops all at the same time. And then you can say, oh, isn't that true for like any deck? Not really, because Boggles doesn't have interaction. So if your opponent has like a bit of a faster start, there's not a lot that you can do about it. We saw that in the Rakdos game. Like, we didn't have the speed necessary to win because we were stumbling over our own place. We are very dependent on having like the collars and the Bogos and the like. So I understand why some people in the past were playing with a Gates package, for example. Having a Gates package means that your lands generate collars, any color that you want. Like if you want to have a stable color base in game number 1, the Gates give you basically a perfect mana base, and they give you the chance to play with red in the sideboarded games. And they also give you Basilisk Gate, which sometimes is just like an extra aura that you can put on an Eldrazi spawn or something to try and close out the game. So I think my final thought is in regards to that. The deck is very inconsistent. I think the plays where your deck does its thing are just so overwhelmingly strong that it's worth it to play the deck. We played against 2 red decks today. 2? Yeah, I guess we played against 2 red decks today, and we saw the effect of just having Armadillo Cloak and the like. I believe that, like, if I was going to tinker with the sideboard a little bit, I think I would probably try to do something like you want your good matchups to be good, right? And then I think that maybe having a single lifelink in the sideboard is not necessarily enough. So maybe I would go up on that a little bit, but that's just like my first impression of playing the deck. Overall, it was an interesting learning experience. I am sure that I will be back to playing Boggles at some point in the future, especially if I want to try and tinker with the list a little bit. And again, this is a deck that it's well primed for new prints and downshifts. There's always going to be like some dorky 1 mana enchantment that gets printed somewhere that gives maybe the little advantage that Boggles needed to cover one of the elements of its deck building. But overall, I think this is a fine deck to play. If you enjoy this kind of play style, go for it. It's just not really for me. Thank you very much. If you're still with us here, please remember to like, subscribe, leave a comment, tell me how I messed up in the games, tell me if I should be aggressively mulligan to 5 consistently to try and hit all the cards that I need. But that's been me for today. Thank you very much, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.